At the end of this week, the DC Cinematic Universe will officially begin again, with the release of the 2025 Superman movie. This project is pacing to gross almost $200 million in its opening weekend, and the fan anticipation is high. Some fans still want Henry Cavill to reprise his role as Clark Kent, but overall, most of DC's fans are happy with what the new universe looks like. And not just this one film, but about a quarter of the first phase actually looks good. The Supergirl film is in post-production and is set to release around this time next year. The studio is also in early production for the Clayface film, releasing October of next year. DC is on its way to making a massive comeback in a major way. But can DC keep this momentum going beyond the launch? With the release of Superman, their foundation is setting, but now they'll have to lean into consistency and world building. Their next move will determine if this universe becomes a cultural shift or just a specific moment in time.
Sir?
What is this? Crypto! What the hey, dude? I thought you destroyed the whole Superman robots. I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
Stop, Crypto, leave it.
Next summer, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, will likely release. And if DC can maintain the film's current buzz and fan excitement, we won't just be getting Superman's cousin in tights. This version of Kara is said to be darker, more sharp in realism, and stranded in a world that shaped her into a warrior. She's different from Clark, and has a more grounded life experience. She's not a hopeful farm girl, but more of a real-world survivor. This story could further expand Superman's lore. Also, Brainiac and Lobo are rumored to make appearances, which would push the film toward an epic cosmic conflict. But even without those characters, this project seems designed to stand on its own. A complete narrative that doesn't lean on Clark's legacy, while still remaining connected to the broader arc of DCU, and staying cemented in the plot. But DC also has another film releasing next year in the month of October, and it'll possibly be one of their boldest projects in Phase 1, Clayface. This movie likely isn't just a villain origin story. It could possibly be a psychological horror wrapped in tragedy. Clayface, in most interrogations, is a character who loses control over his own identity. He can change his form, but he's not a surface-level shapeshifter. He's a deep character, with a deep story that definitely deserves to be told in cinema. So that way the character could be exposed to a broader audience, because he's not just a Batman villain. This film concept is already something very different to the previous universe, and even Marvel. This alone lets the audience know DC isn't chasing Marvel's vision, it's diving into different morals and character complexity. Clayface may not be a household name yet, but the horror tones, themes, or self-destruction and potential Gotham ties position it to be a breakout hit with DC fans.
Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around, I'm doing important stuff.
Whether their past audience likes it or not, the rebooted DCU isn't chasing what came before, it's reshaping itself entirely. James Gunn has talked about plans for stronger heroes, flawed humanity, and stories that reflect emotional truth. From Superman to Clayface, there's already a tone and difference stamping a cinematic fingerprint. It's slow, intimate character building, and already feels emotionally raw, and kind of mythologically bold. DC's leaning into less black and white heroes and more textured souls. This world isn't just new, it feels alive. Superman isn't the only alien trying to connect. Supergirl's tone suggests the same thing. Clayface in this film is a B-list movie actor who injects a substance and transforms into a shape-shifting clay monster. The world DC is building already feels lived in, broken, and evolving. There is one thing fans are wondering. Are all of these DC projects happening on the same timeline? Is Supergirl's journey syncing up with Clayface's origin or story in Gotham? Or are these stories unfolding in different corners at their own pace? Right now, DC hasn't confirmed a strict canon or non-canon event, and honestly, that might be the best move. This isn't Marvel's tight-laced phase map. Gunn seems more interested in differentiating stories than bringing them together rather than events that align instantly. Supergirl might be operating years ahead of the new Superman, out in deep space with no clue what's happening on Earth. Maybe, but probably not. Clayface, meanwhile, could be taking place in a pre-Batman Gotham, which is likely steeper in fear and identity breakdown. That flexibility gives DC breathing room. They're letting each story establish its own rhythm, some cosmic, some psychological, some chaotic. And maybe the connections aren't about time at all, maybe it's emotional tone, and ideas of transformation. In that way, DC's new timeline might not be about when events take place, but more why these characters exist now and why their stories matter, while likely exploring their origins later.
Crypto. Home. Take me home.
So now that we have a little bit of an understanding of what's coming for the future of DC, I'd like to talk about what's not here or what hasn't been confirmed yet. No Batman, no Wonder Woman, no Justice League announcement. This silence is definitely intentional. DC Studios isn't rushing to rebuild what fell apart so easily, and that's a smart move. Batman has been reinvented so many times, his absence almost makes more people lean in, waiting and sticking around to see why they haven't mentioned him yet. It's world building with restraint, because fan anticipation can last longer if you basically drag your fans along. Speaking of, Thunderbolts review video coming soon. This could mean James Gunn is recalibrating the holy trinity of DC, maybe letting Clark and Kara establish emotional footing before reintroducing Diana. Then there's the Justice League. No official roster, no potential or rush team-ups. This means DC is not chasing Marvel's format. They don't need an Avengers-style checkpoint. They're building characters first, connections later. And when the team does form, if it does, it'll feel earned, not assembled by studio mandate, pulled together by shared legacy and tension with valuable connections. Batman v Superman, for example. Now that DC Studios is rebuilding Batman and Superman, if we ever get another movie where the two fight again, fans might actually be torn and not want to see the other hero go down. Take Captain America Civil War, for example. To this day, fans still debate and argue on if Tony or Steve was in the wrong, and it's created an ongoing divide in the Marvel fanbase, because each side feels so strongly about their opinions. Steve was wrong for not telling Tony, and Tony was right for trying to kill Bucky. End of conversation. But to move on, leaving these icons off the board and out of frame isn't a mistake, it's a design. Gunn is likely playing the long game, letting the world expand around its quiet corners before dropping DC gods in the middle, which is smart. One of the biggest challenges DC faces right now isn't just creativity, it's emotional balance. Fans have been through false starts, messy reboots, and studio drama. They've seen Superman die, come back, be recasted, and shelved. So even with this clean slate, some people are still holding on to pieces of the past, like hoping Henry Cavill might pop up in a cameo. It's not just about casting, it's about closure. It's about feeling like the previous version mattered, even if DC is starting fresh. At the same time, a lot of fans do like the direction Gunn is taking. There's energy around the new Superman, curiosity about Supergirl, and respect for the risk DC's taking with Clayface. But excitement doesn't erase skepticism. There's still caution. A lot of people are watching Phase 1 unfold gradually, from afar. And that's what we call studio growing pains. DC's not just rebuilding a franchise, they're rebuilding trust. Every casting decision, every teaser image, every trailer has to prove that this new universe has direction, heart, and longevity. If Supergirl cracks open the cosmic side, maybe we're heading towards Brainiac as the universe's first real threat. If Clayface sets the tone, maybe Gotham becomes the hub for DC's psychological storytelling. There's room for Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and Deadman, characters with real weight. DC's universe may be built around transition. Kara transforms through survival, while Clark transforms through responsibility. It's not just about powers, it's about identity shifts. And if the Authority or Booster Gold show up, that opens up ethics, legacy, and even time travel as storytelling plot points. DC might not build a universe on team-ups. The DCU could end up being the most rich in themed superhero universe we've ever seen.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
If you made it this far in the video, you either agree with what I'm saying or you're preparing to write a hate comment. Either way, go ahead, like and subscribe so I can keep pointing out DC's mistakes and so you can keep commenting about how much you disagree. Until then, have a wonderful day.